name's Ralph and welcome back to the channel. It's my time, let's go. I'd like to welcome all you new viewers that are viewing our channels and welcome back all the regular viewers that are sticking with us. Today we're going to be looking at our wheels and getting our wheels ready. We've kind of gone back and forth. I was going to use a smaller wheel. I opted not to do that. I lowered the whole bike and it's enabled me to put the 21 on. So today we're going to go have a look at getting those wheels set up. Our back wheel we've got off of an 05, which will turn out to be a little bit of a handful itself, but stick with us and we'll show you how we deal with it. All right, let's go. Now, if you've ever seen a wheel with all the studs broke off in it, it's quite a sight to see. Just lucky if you can have that happen to you right in your yard or something and have it jam up and not have it come fly off down the road. It could be very, very dangerous. I looked at this wheel for a long time. It sat there on my trike and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And the studs were broke off in it and it made me have second thoughts about using it. But today, we've decided that's what we're going to do, so come along with us and I'll show you how to get them broken studs out and I'll show you how I deal with the rest of it, where the lip is gone and such. Hopefully it's going to work. Can't hurt if you try. It's already no good, so all you can do is make it better. Let's go. So I've run into sort of a project thing here to do today, and I don't know whether I'm going to use this or Margaret or not, but if there's a way to repair it, I'm gonna try and possibly use the wheel. Now I'm not sure if I can or not, so we'll see. What's happening here is I have studs broke off inside the hub. And I've got it all masked up here. As you can see, the studs are broke right off inside, down in there, quite a ways. All of them. And the lip is broke off here as well, so we're going to have to machine something out to go down in there. It's going to be a bit of work to try and salvage the wheel, but if I can salvage the wheel, it's in good shape. So the plan is I'm going to put a washer on here, and we've got a bit of a burr and stuff here from where the other wheel got destroyed. What happened was the pulley came loose. The nuts all came loose and the customer didn't realize it until the last minute, and fortunately he didn't get hurt, and he was looking at getting new wheels. So I acquired this one, which really wasn't much good at the time, and I don't know if I can get them out or not, but this is the plan. So first off, I'm going to build it up, then I'm going to put the washer on it and weld it to the washer, and then I'm going to put a nut on it. That's the plan. Let's see what happens. Myself a good ground over here. Just wiggle it back and forth, nice and easy. There we go. We'll run a tap down through there all the way. Chase those threads. We should be all right. Threads start down in there about 1/4 of an inch before they even start, so we should be fine, and it's good and deep, and we'll put deep bolts in it. 2 down. My welder's set on high and wire feed on about 20. Trying to get this to come down some. Out of my working space. All right. Then we'll try her once again. Sometimes you can fool your own self as to what you can do. There's lots of different methods. What's happening here is that they broke off, so I don't think that, it's not because they were torqued in there and locked in and seized. It's not why they broke off. They broke off because they got loose and the whole pulley got loose. So if I'm lucky enough to get the next 2 out, then we can work it, run a tap down through it, make sure our threads are all good, and then we'll have to get the bearing out and cut the hole out, put a sleeve in there. That's the plan, to hold the bearing with a good lip for my sprocket. You never know if you don't try. And I've had to get a lot of bad studs out over the years that create general havoc. But so far so good here. All right. Let's try again. One to go. They say it's always the last one that's the worst. It's just hitting on the lip. Not quite centered. That's all right. We pass that in a second. So it just takes a little patience and bam, out it comes. I got all 5 out of there. I thought I'd have more trouble than that, but I'm pretty pleased with the way that's turned out. So now that I've got the studs out, I feel pretty confident to try and go ahead now and try to redo that sleeve, get that bearing out of there, and move on from there. We'll just let things cool down and we'll be good to go. So it just shows you the wheel is aluminum, and I was above the threads really, with just down to the threaded surface. So you just hit it and heat it, hit it and heat it, hit it and heat it, keep building it up, building it up, building it up till you get it up to the surface here. So I'm really happy this has turned out all right today, and now I'm confident I can put a sleeve in there. The worst was the studs. The wheel is well worth saving. It's a beautiful wheel, and it's a rear wheel, so we're going to see if we can adapt it onto Margaret maybe. We'll see. I'm not sure of the offset because it was a belt pulley one, but I think that would be all right. So we'll let her cool down, clean her off, take it from there. So now I've got a 7/16 coarse tap, and we're going to run it down through all the holes. I'm going to run it right down to the full depth down in there. They're very deep, so I don't think that that will be a problem. We'll go around to the ones that are cooler here that we did initially. Yeah, it never hurts to put a little rapid tap on there. Nice looking threads in there. Going down in there deep, so that our bolts, make sure that we put long bolts in there that they don't bind up. We'll put grade 8s in there. Now we're just going to go along and clean the tape off here where it's sort of burnt on there. But we really didn't discolor the hub at all. And I think it's a great looking wheel. We put wires on, but this one's in awful good shape. And we've just managed to save it. Now we will be getting the bearings out, and then we're going to cut where there's only half a lip here. And you really need to have a lip, because when you pull, when the sprocket or the belt, whatever, is pulled that way, the lip helps keep it central. And without the lip, all the force is on the bolts. Now you could probably run it, you know, if you're not into a high performance, big power, and possibly get away with it. But since I've gotten this far, I think it's time to fix that, and then the wheel will always be usable for one purpose or another. But I'm pretty pleased with that today. I've eyeballed those for a while and worried about getting them out. Today was the day. So I hope that helped you out a little bit. For any of you that got them stuck in there, it's not the end of the world. It's, you know, you can get them out. Sometimes they're a little harder than that. Sometimes they'll test your patience a lot farther than that. But if you take your time and look at it, think about it, you can probably get them out. All right, I'm on to something else now.
Audio Jungle.
So today it looks like I got some time to get at Margaret here and work away at it. I need to get at some things on this so that I can get it off to powder coat. So today we're going to be working on trying this back wheel that I have for it, and I'm going to see if I can get it in to fit, and if it'll line up with the transmission. I think I should be able to get it to. So we're going to fire the tranny in it and see if we can make it work. So here's the wheel we're going to use, and I have this sprocket. Now it's got a slight offset to one side, and if I have a problem lining up this way because of where the belt was sticking out, I always have the option of going on this way and bringing it in a little bit closer and spacing it with a couple spaces wherever I need it. So we're just going to stick it on quickly today. Too much trouble. cleaned all my holes out, so everything goes in there nice and easy. So I'm not quite sure if I can take this wheel that come off an 05 and try to put it on the shovel head. I think I can. I've got a sprocket that's a dished, slightly dished sprocket that I can flip or reverse or get a flat sprocket if needed. So the first thing to do is to get the back one off of here, and then we'll slide the other one up in there and we'll see where we can go for them. I'm going to slide the transmission in today, put that in place, and that way I can take an alignment off the transmission to my back sprocket to see where it's got to be. All right. We're just checking our alignment here with a flat edge across the front. You can take this out because we won't be using that anymore. I'm going to put one of my own brake brackets on here, and that enables me to use 2008 to 2023 brakes. I'll have to let it down a ways. I've got a 120 on this one, not a 130, so it's a lot smaller tire, but it will work for what I'm trying to figure out today. That looks like it's going to be fine. No problem. Okay. So we're certainly going to have to make some different spacers for in here because this wheel has the sealed bearings and not the Timkins in it. And we will be using one of these as one of my my brackets that enables you to run the 2008 and up. I think they're 2008 right up to 2023. So never a hard time to get parts for them or brake pads or anything like that. And we put them on and it makes a lot better brake on the back. I actually have one installed on the FX here. As you can see, it makes a nice setup there. It actually uses the bigger rear disc, which is a lot wider to dissipate heat and such. And it's a bigger disc, so it stops you on a dime for sure. So that's what we'll be using this bracket for. And I designed this up quite a while ago, and I've made a few of them up. And anytime I have to deal with them, it's nice to get rid of the banana brake on the back. It's not much of a setup, and it always gets wallowed out over a period of time. And you like to have good braking on them. Not that these are high-speed machines, but you like to put your foot on the brake and have it stop. So this will be going on. So now we get to stand back and have a look at it, and I think I'm really going to like it. This will all be blacked out, black shocks, black swing arm. So this will add a bit of chrome to the back along with the muffler. That's the nice thing about building a chopper is that, you know, there's no rules as to what has to go where and what you have to put on. Sure, there's lots of guys out there with opinions, and they're going to tell you, I do like that, I don't like that, but in that case, you know, that's your own taste. I'm going to put new spokes in the front wheel here. I've got a spoke kit for it now, so I just got to wire it up. But I think in the overall look, I'm pretty pleased with that, and I'm going to be able to salvage this wheel. I have to do some work to it, as you'll see, but I'm going to make it work, and that's part of the enjoyment of building a custom bike is building those pieces and massaging them and getting them so that they fit right. So I'm pleased with that. As you've seen, we got the studs out of them, and that was quite a job in itself. Now we got to get the bearings out, and I got a plan on how to get them out. And then we're going to take them up to my buddy Jimmy's, and we're going to cut the center out of this one so that I can make a sleeve to go in there, and then I'll have my edge for my rotor, or for the brake sprocket. So once we got our studs out and stuff, the next thing to come was to get the wheel bearings out. Now getting the wheel bearings out of these wheels is a chore, and you can ask anybody that does it, they'll tell you the same thing. There is a small tool that slips in there, and once it goes in, the teeth are supposed to spring out on the other side of the bearing, and then you can slide hammer it out. With this wheel, as with many of the new wheels, especially the cast ones, when the centerpiece goes in, it just fits in the hole, So you can't move the bearing, you can't move the sleeve one way or the other. I'm exaggerating, but usually on the Timken types, you can move it to the side one bit and get something in there to drive that bearing out. Now, I don't have the puller, and I wasn't about to invest in one of them because I just heard so many horror stories of them not working well, and it makes perfect sense. If it can't go back in and hook around the bearing, how can it spread out and pull that wheel bearing out? So, here's what we did. We took the bearing and I made a little plug that would fit in here, which was a little bit smaller than the center hole, like axle size 3/4 of an inch. And then on the top, I just left enough width so it was a little bit bigger than the center of the bearing, so it was a little bit smaller than that. So I could set it in the bearing. I set it in the bearing, I of course covered the wheel up as I did before, and then welded this right to the center of the bearing. Then I was able to turn the wheel upside down and support it on a piece like this in the center. Take an axle, if you had an axle type that didn't have threads right to the end, which a lot of them are, you could slide your axle down in there, or a piece of 3/4 rod, and then drive that bearing out. Once that bearing falls out, this centerpiece is going to come out with it. So all you have to do is flip the wheel, support it of course so that the bearing can fall out of it, and then you can take a piece of 1 inch, something that's more applicable up to this size or whatever size you've got there. You won't get anything much more than 1 inch, I don't think, through the wheel. You got a 1 inch bar here. It'll just go through, so you still have to remember about the hole in the center. So you just take a 1 inch bar and drive the other side out. What I found is, looking at these wheels, and I'm sure what's common to a lot of them, is that the wheels are chromed. And I think what's happening is that when they machine the surface in here, it's machined out to size for the bearing, then they chrome it. And chrome can be 20-30 thou thick, depending on how it's chromed. Then they've put the bearing in the hub and pressed the shit out of it and pressed it in. And I think that's what makes them so hard to get out in a lot of cases. Both sides of the wheel was the same, scrap chrome and stuff came out of the inside. So I know that that's the case. It certainly didn't press in on a machined aluminum surface as it should have. So, a little plug, a little bit of welding, out comes your wheel bearings. You're gonna wreck them anyway, so beat them out, and that's the end of the problem. Unfortunately, it was one of those days when you just got at it and you were getting at things and getting it done, and I didn't get the camera set up to film it, and I sort of wish I had, but I think you get the idea. Sometimes you have it on, sometimes you don't. I looked back for 2 hours last night trying to find it in my clips and realized that I had deleted something that I didn't want to delete, and that must have been in with it. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. I don't even know if I filmed it, so. But this should get the point across on what you can do to get it out. You can do it with anything. You can stick a piece of 3/4 inch rod through it and weld it on the end and drive that 3/4 inch rod out, but it's a lot nicer to have a little piece there that you deal with instead of having your bearing with a 3/4 inch rod stuck to it. I hope this helps you out with that little tip. So we're up here at Jimmy's today. We're going to try and bore the center of this out so we can use this wheel instead of throwing away. We got the studs out and everything, so if this works, we'll be Jim Dandy. Jim Dandy. We'll give her a go and see what happens. Ooh. She's just going in. Want to go the whole way back here to the back end?
there when your bearing goes, or just halfway, or get rid of all that crap?
Well, I'm gonna make a sleeve, so I might as well make it to go, I would think right back to the shoulder,
I'd
right?
go right back to there.
Then I can pound it right
and
into
get
the...
rid of all that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, and then I can pound it right, size it right and
Yeah.
drive it in and not worry about it. I'll put that 601 or 609 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Looks like you're going up and down.
It's not bad on the outside of the rim.
The whole wheel, if you look at the center of it.
Oh yeah.
Like that, there, here.
Oh yeah, that's there. That's straight, that's straight. The rim itself is not bad.
No, I don't see the rim too much going up and down, but the casting stuff,
yeah.
it's just out big time, isn't it?
Just see me slow her down. That's not bad.
No. Got a big light cut, I guess.
Yep.
Geez, you wouldn't think it reflects that much on that disc like that.
It's thin.
I suppose.
Thin right there. 5 inches from the bolts. It's through that chrome shit.
Yeah, it don't seem to be.
No, it's not bad there now.
No. Be another piece of the puzzle. Like say the outside don't really matter. I'll turn it to fit the sprocket. It'll be better than it was. That's what I mean. A lot of it doesn't fit tight on those lips. Not like it. The older ones did. The older ones had a lip on it and stuff fit pretty snug on it.
Sure.
But the newer stuff, it don't. And breaking studs off in there, breaking all them pulleys off is quite common now. Because guys never see them, they're underneath the saddlebags. They don't know until this one here, the only way the guy knew, because he went to move it in his garage. And the bolt came out so far it hit the swing arm, jammed. Otherwise, he'd been cruising down the road with it. Right? He was just before, but that next morning he went to take it out and he went, "Look, I can't move it. What's going on here?" Right? Yeah, I'll turn the outside of it to fit my sprocket.
Oh yeah.
Before I press it in there. And put a good lip. That's the other thing. That lip was only not much bigger than what you've seen there.
Yeah,
and the older ones were like that big.
Yeah.
So they don't.
Oh, this got the belt drive on.
Belt drive on this.
That's carries that be that thick.
Well, the pulleys are probably that thick,
Oh,
but
it's wide.
the little lip on there is still only that big. It's just like same size it is on the disc on the other side. Yeah, all the older stuff had 3/8 of an inch lip. Geez, good to go.
Not quite. Only one more, just 2H 220. Take another 10, just maybe 5.
Well, like I say, I can turn it, make the other piece to fit, right?
See if we can take that last little bit of vibration.
Here we go. Yeah, I'll just measure the other one. Even if I have to put a lip on it, it won't matter. Make it fit like that. She'll be fine. And once again, Jimmy saved my bacon. Sprayed all the spokes down and loosened them all up, and got them pretty well ready to take off. I've got new spoke kit for this. So we're just going to go along and try to get them off. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because there's some of the spokes that are a bit rusty in it, and it just bugs me. The rim is good, and when they take the spokes out, it enables me to clean the hub all up as well. And so we'll have a nice shiny wheel on the front that'll last for a lot of years to come. Yeah, some guys will say, oh, just take steel wool to them and that will clean them up. Yeah, it will. Until the next guy has it, and then he's out in the weather and such, and then all of a sudden he comes home sometime and all the spokes are rusted up. So, it's a trick they use to sell bikes. Clean things up like that, but it'll pit up again pretty fast. stuff like this is when you really appreciate the Milwaukee. And there we go. Now, if your spokes are all rusty and you don't want to keep them, the easiest way to do it is to just cut them off. You know, with a big set of bolt cutters. Just cut them in the middle and pop them off, and then you can just pop everything out. But I don't like to do that, and I like to keep spokes just in case I come across a situation where somebody breaks one or something like that. It's nice to have spares on hand instead of having to buy a whole new set. Because there's no doubt some of them here that are usable. I don't know how many wheels I've done over the years. A lot. Not just for Harleys. I used to do a lot for guys with dirt bikes. They were always banging them and bending them. But it was a great skill to have. Sort of art that's going by the wayside, unfortunately. But you do see the bike still with wire wheels, so somebody has to do them somewhere. And there'll always be a call for re-spoking them because the hubs are expensive. These now, as with everything, nothing's getting any cheaper. And there we go. Now the hub's all out and I can clean it all inside and out. It's not rusty, it's just dirty. I'm hoping. Yeah, it's just cruddy from sitting there for years. But it looks good. We'll take some of my light metal compound and just clean that up. Take some time in there. It'll take a little bit, but we'll get that cleaned up and then we'll get our new spoke kit and we'll get the rim ready to spoke. And that'll take care of the front one. It's pretty grimy. Definitely some spots need to work on. But once you get them clean, it squeaks, so that's when you know you're down to the chrome and you've got it as good as you're going to get it. It's right up there with doing gaskets. But patience is a virtue. You probably have to do things a couple times before you get it all. Now we'll just keep picking away at it. This product, PR Bright, works good. A guy who painted one of my bikes turned me onto it. It's got a slight compound in it. Not enough to scratch or anything. It certainly doesn't get anything off of it. And polishes it. Great for aluminum or chrome. I've tried lots of chrome polishes over the years. Seems like every time I got something that I liked, it got discontinued. They're not allowed across our border because of some insane environmental stuff. Environmental means cost you more. Won't work as good as the other stuff. It's about the way it's gotten. Had some tremendous products in the past. We're off. Let's see what we gotta, what areas we have to work on now. Not bad. It's coming along now. A few little areas in there just to work on, and they will come off because if I rub hard enough, they'll come off. So if you enjoyed this video today, like, subscribe, comment, ring the bell, do those kind of things. It helps us to grow. We're coming along with it. Tune in next week when we're going to get the sleeve made and get that pressed in there and see how we make out and if we can do it and get it in. And then it'll be all good and fit it up to Margaret on the motorcycle and that. But one of our last steps as we figured out our bearings and our spacers and such. It's been a bit of a test to see if I can do that, if we can save that wheel, and I feel really good about it. You know, I love it when I save some old parts. Well, you know, yeah, it's off an 05, but 05, what do they say, 05, 15, 25, you know, 26 years old. And you've managed to save that part last for another bunch of years on Margaret possibly, or on another bike down the road when things get swapped out, who knows. So in any case, stick with us and see how it goes, and we'll get that in, and we're going to try to slip in a little bit and get my front wheel finished up. I've been lacing and truing that up and trying to get that done as well. I don't know if I have enough time in this video for it, but we'll see where we get. So tune in next week. We'll see you then.